Should I carry on?
Yep, hold on.
Should I start my speech?
Good afternoon, morning, or evening, everybody, depending on where you are joining us today for this live webcast hosted by the Departments of International Relations, Universitas Islam Indonesia. My name is Sangga Fatana. I am Assistant Professor in International Relations, coming to live today from Yogyakarta. We are very glad that you are with us today. We have over 50 people will be joining us from across Indonesia and some parts of the world. We do hope that wherever you are, you and your loved one are safe and healthy. There is a lot to discuss today and limited time, so I'll keep this very brief. I would like to inform our upcoming event, which will be our 6th session of our discussion, which will discuss about the COVID in the Middle East, Qatar as a case study. Our resource person will be Dr. Rahmat Subakti. He is the lead medical officer and head of occupational health at Qatar Petroleum Industrial Cities. Next week, 15 May 2020. And with that, I would like to also thank to everyone who have already joining us, and those who have submit the question beforehand. We would like to also appreciate for that. And would like also to remind you that you will have the opportunity to raise questions during the discussion through the chatting bar, as well as through the audio and video after the presentation delivered by the resource persons. With that, let us jump into today's conversation, which is about the refugee and pandemic, Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh as a case study. And through that, I would like to turn over to the conversation to Mr. Haza Min Fadli Robi, lecturer at the Departments of International Relations, Universitas Islam Indonesia. He will be the session chair of today's conversation, and he will introduce the resource person to you. And with that, Pak Haza, the virtual floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Hangga. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good afternoon to everyone. I hope that everyone stays healthy and safe during this pandemic time. And today we will be having a very good conversation on the issue of refugee and pandemics. With us joining from city of Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh, is Dr. Mamun Abdullah Chowdhury. He is the chairman of the Department of International Relations in Rajshahi University and also associate professor of international relations in Rajshahi University in Dhaka. Currently, we have around 50 people participating from various parts of the world, especially from Indonesia. We are also having several people joining us from various parts of countries in Southeast Asia. And I hope this discussion will be a very productive one. I will welcome Dr. Mamun Abdullah Chowdhury to give his speech for about 40 minutes. And after that, we can continue for about another 40 minutes for question and answer after Dr. Mamun Abdullah finished this lecture. So without further ado, I would like to give the virtual floor to Dr. Mamun Abdullah to give his presentation on refugee and pandemic. Dr. Mamun Abdullah Chowdhury, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Hadja, and also all of you. Welcome everybody to the webinar talk series on refugee and pandemic, Rohingyas in Bangladesh as a case study. It is organized by the Department of International Relations, Islamic University of Indonesia, and the speaker me, Dr. Soyod M. Abdullah Al Mamun Chowdhury, Chairman, Department of International Relations, University of Rajshahi. Welcome. It is my pleasure to meet you all through digital means to share some ideas on refugees and pandemic, Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh as a case study. At first, surely Rohingya's refugee crisis is one of the most important issues to be addressed now. And at first, I solemnly give thanks to the Department of International Relations of Islamic University of Indonesia to invite me to share something about this, especially in the COVID-19 pandemic. Am I clear? I think everybody of you are ready to hear from me, and I am going to and I urge everybody, if you have any difficulties, please let me know through the chat bar, and I will then repeat or discuss it again. So first of all, before going deep into the issue, let us first define the following terms, because these terms are associated. These terms are associated with the title of this topic. First, who are refugees? What is pandemic? Who are Rohingyas? What is COVID-19 virus? Firstly, we will discuss on these topics. So who are refugees? Refugees are the curse of the civilization. According to UNHCR, a refugee is someone who has been forced to flee his or her country because of persecution, war, or violence. The Refugee Convention 1951, Chapter 1, Article 1, Paragraph 2 gives the definition of refugee as follows. As a result of events occurring before 1st January 1951 and owing to a well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group or political opinion is outside the country of his nationality and is unable or owing to such fear is unwilling to avail himself of the protection of that country, or who, not having nationality and being outside of the country of his former habitual residence as a result of such events, is unable or owing to such fear is unwilling to return it. So you see, the refugees are actually displaced people, landless people, rootless people. And now the universe, the world is burdened with huge number of refugees. It is estimated that presently in the statistics of 2020, the number of refugees around the world are more than 25 million. Funny, 25 million people are refugees in this world. Among them, Rohingyas are the fourth largest refugees in the demographic table, who are staying at different campuses of Cox's Bazar. And everybody know that in Bangladesh, Cox's Bazar is the southeast part of Bangladesh, and this is actually the lifeline of tourism, the blue economy for Bangladesh, and the only lifeline, the only blue economic area, and only the earning source and the connectivity with the universe through seas is the Cox's Bazar area. And now this area is burdened with approximately more than 1.1 million people, Rohingya people, Rohingya refugees. And now let us discuss on what is pandemic. So the word pandemic is not familiar to us. Very few people are familiar before the COVID-19 virus attack. That's why the definition, scholars all over the world are in confusion about the definition of pandemic. So generally the word pandemic comes from the Greek word pandemos. Pan means everyone and demons means the people. So the word refers to all the people of the world. But there is another view of Mr. Mike Ryan. According to Dr. Mike Ryan, the executive director of the agency's Health Emergencies Program of WHO, pandemic is a concept where there is a belief that the whole world's population will likely be exposed to infection and potentially a portion of them fall sick. Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the United States National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, said that there is no actual scientific definitive definition of what constitutes a pandemic. So pandemic, there is no actual or universal definition. But now the COVID-19 virus infection, during this infection, the present world is now considered a pandemic because it is like a flu virus. So now come on the question, who are Rohingyas? Who are Rohingyas? Rohingyas are forcibly displaced citizens, ethnic minority of Myanmar, who fled in thousands to avoid persecution of the Myanmar army and their collaborators. For the internal cause of Myanmar, Rohingyas are forcibly pushed out of border from Rakhine state in 1971, in 1991 to 92, and then in 1917. the largest influx of them, nearly more than 1 million. Now, approximately more than 1.1 million of them are staying in Bangladesh. Think the situation. It is presumed that Rakhine is a state of Myanmar, and this Rakhine state is rich in natural resources. And the Myanmar government invited FDI, foreign direct investment, in this state for their own interest, and therefore they need to evacuate their state. For their own economy, they are evacuating their own citizens. Think over it. So Bangladesh gave them temporary shelter only for humanitarian reasons, but not considered them as refugees. Bangladesh is yet not considered the Rohingyas as refugees. Bangladesh is addressing them forcibly displaced people, displaced citizens of Myanmar. So why? Since Bangladesh is the world's most densely populated poor country and are not able to bear refugees. So let us see some pictures which will reveal how Myanmar army and their collaborators forcibly evacuate Rakhine by imposing torture over them. You see this picture in the cities of Rakhine state, the Myanmar army burned the Rohingya houses to force them to flee. You see, in the villages and remote areas of Myanmar, the Myanmar army and their collaborators burned their houses so that they can flee from their own land. And you see the helpless people Rohingya against Myanmar army, they are burning down, losing their dwelling houses. And you see how they are burned their dwelling houses to force them evacuate those native lands. And you see not only the burning, this picture shows that how brutally they occurred mass killing. These people, these illiterate people, helpless people, they lined them and open shoot them. And this picture shows how the women of those men are tearing, burst into tears, seeing the mass killing. You see the dead bodies are lying on the open places in Myanmar villages. These devastating things occurred by the Myanmar army. And you see the women of Myanmar are recklessly raped and forced to be pregnant. And that is why thousands of people flee from Myanmar in lines. They are trying to find their shelter, and how far is it? And you see in this picture, people are wandering. They are wandering for a safe place, and they are evacuating the Myanmar villages by hook or by crook. They are on foot, on the vehicles. And in this situation, the thousands of people, are, when in 2017, staying in a no man's land. What should Bangladesh then do? Before the military crackdown in 2017, the Rohingya population in Myanmar was around 1 million to 1.3 million. On August 25, 2017, the Myanmar military had launched clearance operations against the Rohingya Muslims in Rakhine state. Millions of Rohingyas fled to no man's land, waiting to enter Bangladesh. At first, Bangladesh decided not to open the border because there were already more than 300,000 Rohingyas staying in Bangladesh in 1991 to 92, 2015, and 2016 violence in Myanmar, and Myanmar did not keep her promise to repatriate them. Then the question before Bangladesh were, is it possible for Bangladesh to manage the large influx of refugees? How will she meet up shelter, food, sanitation, healthcare, and other necessities for the huge influx of the people? What will happen to her crawling economy? How can Bangladesh manage the security concerns for his own country? The situation whispered not to open the border into the ears of Bangladesh. What Bangladesh was to do then? Bangladesh did the right job. She shows humanity with all her inabilities. Bangladesh could not but open his borders and gave them shelter, although most of her people live from hand to mouth. And therefore, around 6,24,000 Rohingyas entered into Bangladesh alone and to other countries until November 7. Up to the last of 2018, the number reaches to more than 1.1 million. Most of them are women and children. They faced extreme sexual violence and exploitation. Among them, around 20,000, roughly 20%, are pregnant or new mothers. How severe, savage reactions did the Myanmar army to their native people, you see. The government of Bangladesh, with the help of UNHCR, around 130 local and foreign NGOs, made shelter camps for the distressed Rohingyas. And you see, in this is a map. It is a part of a map of Bangladesh, the south east part of Bangladesh, the only sea adjacent place of Bangladesh. This is Cox's Bazar. This is Cox's Bazar, and you see the Rohingya people are living in the camps. In one camp, 6 lakhs. In one camp, 33,000. In another camp, 48,000. Another camp, you see 11,000. Those are the demographic structure of Rohingya camps in the Cox's Bazar. And after entering Bangladesh, Bangladesh took initiatives to not to be vulnerable. And these are the symptoms that wooden and tin-made dwelling houses provided by Bangladesh to the Rohingya people in the Ukhiya, Teknaf, and other places of Cox's Bazar Rohingya camps. And you see there are facilities of sanitation, there are facilities of garbage maintenance. And you see in this picture, this is a healthcare center. Like this, many healthcare centers are established in the Rohingya refugee camps, and you see the modern amenities facilities are there. And you see this is a prayer houses, and all the prayer houses are provided with electricity, fans, and the electricity comes from the you see the second picture from the solar energy. And this is, you see, a playground. Rohingya people are playing there. And below the picture, I myself with Rohingya people, January of this month, I visited Rohingya camps, and practically I have seen their situation there. And now let us discuss on COVID-19 disease, which is the main focus point of this lecture. And we will later immediately discuss how Bangladesh provide necessary actions in the camps to help the Rohingya refugee people to protect them from the greedy clutches of this virus. So what is COVID-19? Why is it so dangerous? In the picture you see, it is a picture of scientific, and you see there, it is an RNA, it is called a RNA virus. And perhaps all of you are updated about this virus because it has now become a buzzword in the world, and the world media is relentlessly giving update on COVID-19 virus. But I myself called it a secular virus because it shows no mercy to any religion. All the functional religious activities around the world are curtailed to avoid the greedy clutches of this brutal virus. And here I placed some information about this COVID-19 virus. The name of the virus is severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, SARS-CoV-2. The disease that is caused by this virus is named as COVID-19. It is highly contagious. It is highly contagious respiratory disease that is characterized by symptoms, firstly fever, then coughing, then muscle ache, often with progressive difficulty of breathing. The type of animal virus emerged from animal to human firstly in 2002, and then it is named as SARS. Then another version of this virus is spread in 2012. This is called MERS. And the third version of this COVID-19, which is arrived in December 1st, 2019, it is originated in Wuhan, Hubei, China. And what is the action of this virus? The incubation period of this virus is 1 to 14 days. And respiratory droplets. And you see here I place some preventive measures so that we can avoid ourselves from this dangerous virus. First, avoiding close contact with the sick individuals, frequently washing hands with soap and water, using masks, hand gloves, and PPE, personal protective equipments, not touching the eyes, nose, or mouth with unwashed hands, practicing good respiratory hygiene, maintaining social distance, quarantine, isolation. These are the measures that we can use as there is no vaccination yet invented. So what is the present state of the Rohingya refugee people in the facing of COVID-19? So now I am letting some information before you. It is a great surprise that Rohingyas in the transition camps in Cox's Bazar are still safe from COVID-19, although they are living in extremely populated area. According to the RRC report, RRC means the Relief and Repatriation Commission created by the government of Bangladesh to deal Rohingya people in the camps. This organization, government organization names a RRC. According to the report, no deaths are caused by COVID-19 in the camp area. The latest health report in the Rohingya camps up to April 23rd, 2020 is as follows. Number of quarantined people at home, 0. Number of quarantined people at hospitals and other institutions, 465. Total number of quarantined people at hospitals and other institutions, 536. Number of released people from quarantine, 40. Number of isolated people, 0. Number of COVID-19 positive, 0. So you see, in Bangladesh, Bangladesh proved herself as a hospitable nation. And this table shows that how Bangladesh helped the distressed people to avoid themselves from the greedy clutches of Rohingya, greedy clutches of this COVID-19 virus. Now let us discuss how this situation is providing possible for Bangladesh. So in Bangladesh, the forcibly displaced Rohingya people of Myanmar are quarantined in the transition camps of Cox's Bazar. The relief activities are conducted by 2 ways. Number 1, under the direct supervision of the government agencies, and then by local and foreign NGOs. The whole activities are controlled by the Office of the Refugee Relief and Repatriation Commissioner. On the very onset of COVID-19 pandemic, the Commission took the following steps for the Rohingya people. Lockdown in camp area, lockdown in the camp area, restriction in and out, preparing hospitals, medical centers, isolation centers, training volunteers, NGO activists, and others working in the area, restrictions in movements in the camp area. So here is a summary of government order. Before the spreading of COVID-19, immediately Bangladesh government ordered a series of orders and restrictions to the camps so that they are safe. In March 24, the government of Bangladesh issued the following orders to reduce risks for COVID-19. Suppose essential measurements. The operation is to move immediately to essential service and assistance only. As of 23rd March, in line with government instruction today. The goal is to reduce the staff footprint of the operation and to minimize the risk within the campus setting while ensuring that some assistance and services are scaled up in light of the needed COVID-19 responses. All possible preventive measures must be taken in the camps at all ongoing services and facilities, suppose hand washing and disinfection, minimizing groups attendance as far as possible, and distancing as far as possible. Distributions must follow the guidance in place. And here are some facilities, services, and activities to be temporarily closed. Educational facilities in line with the RRC policies, all types of institutions, learning centers, madrasa, maktabs, home-based learning facilities are closed. Friendly spaces, suppose a child and adolescent, elderly, but remain available for individuals, service provisions, generally closed. Multi-purpose centers, supposed to include the women-led community centers, closed. Training facilities, closed. And these are the facilities and services to remain open and staffed. All possible preventive measures to be taken, and washing, disinfection, minimizing groups attendance as far as possible, and social distancing as far as possible. All health and nutrition facilities and services are open. Information hubs are open. Individual protection services are open. Reception of new arrivals and family tracing are open. Food distribution is open. LPG means that the gas supply, fuel supply is open. Hygiene promotion and hygiene kit distribution open. Water and sanitation activities are open. Construction as necessary of health and additional WASH infrastructure to support improved hygiene. Site management open. Logistics services open. preparation of Rohingya volunteer by health, WSSAs and site management sectors for essential services during site phases are open. Provision of high energy biscuits to children, WFP, door-to-door modality should be followed. These activities are open. The following services are suspended for the 15 days for the quarantine, for the lockdown. Site development works suspended. Joint registration and verification process suspended. All types of shops, tea stalls, street food shop, excluding kitchen market, suppose vegetable, fish, meat, will be closed until further notice. So here we see some medical preparations taken by the government of Bangladesh to provide the Rohingya. Nurses are trained to serve COVID-19 patients. 168 isolation centers are ready for COVID-19 positive patients. 1,900 beds are planned for the isolation centers. 1,243 of them will ready with the 1st May 2020, and the rest will be prepared within 15 May. 11 isolation centers are under construction. 2 ambulances are ready for COVID-19 patients all the time. 116 health centers are open for 24 hours, where 232 doctors, 2,073 health workers are working. 10 ICU, 10 HDU, 150 bed in the isolation centers, and sufficient personal protection equipments are arranged with the help of this. For the emergency cases, modern emergency facilities, doctors and 40 supporting staffs are always ready. It is mandatory to stay quarantined for 40 days who came to the camps from foreign countries. Visitors are strongly prohibited in the camps. Leaflet of awareness programs are composed in English, Burmese, and Rohingya's languages. I repeat, the awareness program, what provided by the government of Bangladesh and the other agencies, they make leaflets, posters to make awareness, and the language of those posters and awareness programs are in 3 languages: Burmese languages, English languages, and Rohingyan languages. This is a unique initiative taken by Bangladesh government. So vehicles movement and the number of NGO activities are reduced to 10%. Equipments, masks, gloves, distributed to the camp officers and other workers. So here are some pictures through which you will see how in the camps of Rohingya refugees, awareness programs are going on. You see some people are distributing leaflets, some people are miking through vehicles, and you see when in the camps, foods distributed, people are keeping social distance. You see the social distance. When doctors provide services to the Rohingya people, you see keep distance. And even when they say prayers in the camps, they keep distance. So in this process, the government of Bangladesh has made a congenial atmosphere for the Rohingya people in the Rohingya camps. Rohingyas are now still safe because Bengalis are hospitable nation. And thank you very much. Now I would like to ask you everybody if you have some questions, and you can ask me to clarify those. And thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mamun Abdullah, for the very inspiring speech. I think most of Indonesia never heard about how, although the camps in Bangladesh are very crowded, the Rohingya camps in Bangladesh are very crowded, but
Yeah.
we never heard that actually there are no victims to the COVID-19. That is a very wonderful thing to hear.
Till today.
Until
there is
today.
No positive.
Yeah, there's no positive case. That is very surprising indeed, because in other cases, for example, if we are looking into the cases in the Syrian camps in Turkey or in Greece, we are seeing that there are cases of positive COVID-19 in those camps. But it is very surprising to see that the Bangladesh government has done a very good job in maintaining the health situation, the health situation in the refugee camps in Bangladesh. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mamun. And now I would like to welcome questions and also comments from anyone. If anyone would like to speak. Okay, the first question, sir, can you see it in the chat box? There is a question from one of our lecturers, Mr. Enggar, from one of our assistant professor in the department, Mr. Enggar. So he asked a question about the Cox's Bazar. Since yes, a checkbox, yes. Since the Cox's Bazar is already crowded, why don't the government move some of them to the Basanchar? Since it's already built shelters for Rohingya refugees. Do you know the answer for that question?
So your question is why the Bangladesh government is not transferring the Rohingya people. Yeah, I am giving this answer first of all.
Okay, so you can
Mr. Hadza.
Yes, you can answer the question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is actually a policy of the government of Bangladesh. You see, in my lecture, I told you that yet Bangladesh government is not addressed Rohingyas as refugees. Bangladesh addressed them as the forcibly displaced Myanmar citizen people. And Bangladesh is Bangladesh is not a so rich country. It is actually a LDC country. Now is trying to uphold this head over the poverty line. So it is not possible for Bangladesh to avail or meet the demand of such a huge population. And there was a decision and a pressure from the international community that the Bangladesh should transfer them to the Bhasan Chor. So why Bangladesh transfer them to Bhasan Chor? Bangladesh is trying to negotiate with the international community and the Myanmar government to repatriate them. So why should they transfer there? It is the international duty of the international community to give pressure on the Myanmar government to keep their promise and return and make the congenial atmosphere in Myanmar and give back to their citizens. So it is, and Bangladesh has proved that though it is a crowded area in the camps of the Cox's Bazar, yet till today there is no COVID-19 positive patients. So it is possible for Bangladesh to manage them within the Cox's Bazar, and Bangladesh is trying to repatriate them within shorter possible time. That is why Bangladesh is not willing to transfer them in the Bhasan Char, because there is also another problem. Bhasan Char is a natural calamity prone area. If Bangladesh transfer to them that area, this is a chore or temporary land. It may go underwater immediately, and those areas are natural calamities, and the hurricanes and other natural calamities every year frequently visits there. So if Bangladesh transferred there in the inner land of Bangladesh, how will Bangladesh cope the future problems? So it is better let them stay for temporarily in the camps, and it is the international community should come forward to force Myanmar government to take them back. Thank you, Mr. Hadza. Is there any question?
Oh, yeah. There are another question. Now the question is coming from one of our students who are writing an undergraduate thesis on Rohingya refugee. So he will be writing a thesis on Rohingya refugee in Bangladesh. So he asked a question about how far is the role of UNHCR in dealing with Rohingya refugee in Bangladesh? Is there any collaboration between Bangladesh government and UNHCR while this pandemic is taking place?
Of course.
Yes. So how is the coordination?
Yes, of course. The question is, how far is the role of UNHCR in dealing with the Rohingya refugee in Bangladesh? Well, very fine. So in my lecture, I have already told that in the refugee camps, Bangladesh is dealing with these forcibly displaced people with the help of UNHCR and 130 of local and international NGOs. So Bangladesh is every moment is keeping contact with UNHCR, and in dealing COVID-19 virus, Bangladesh immediately followed the orders and rules of UNHCR in the camps, and they are helping. But their help is not sufficient for Bangladesh, because this huge number of refugees called by the international community are destroying our natural resources and changes our local demographic situation, law and order situations, and others. So UNHCR can't help securing local law and orders. And some Rohingya people are making dacoiting here. They are making some occurrences here, and these occurrences are also badly impacted on our economy and local security. UNHCR just supporting aid, supporting healthcare, supporting fooding, but there are more things to deal. And in this case, Bangladesh is alone, and Bangladesh is really facing very severe situations.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mamun. I think
Yeah.
we have more questions coming.
Yeah, of course, I'm ready.
Yeah. The third question is coming from Pertiwi. How challenging is the pandemic and physical distancing atmosphere for humanitarian workers to deliver their service to refugee communities? What type of service become on hold so far?
Yeah, the workers in the camps, are strictly following the rules and business. They are fully equipped with PPE, personal protective equipments. They are following the health rules of WHO and the surveillance. It's a team, surveillance team of the camp area. They're still safe. And you see in the camps, there are army, police, and other law enforcing agencies. They are giving toll. Vigilance teams are strict there. That is why social distancing is ensured there. And in some photos, I have shown you how physical distancing during the food distribution, during the other kit distribution, the physical distancing is kept. And even in the mosque, in the picture I have shown you that the people saying prayers, keeping physical distance with proper equipments. So by following those precautionary measurements, physical distancing is ensured in the camps. And thank you. Another question?
Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir. There are a quite elaborate question from one of our lecturers in the department, Mr. Wahyu Arif. So he asks, at least there are 2 or 3 questions. The first question is about, to what extent has the testing rate of COVID-19 in Rohingya refugee camps? The second question is, with the lockdown prevailing in the camps, how do refugees cope with restricted economic activities and thus source of income? Does it make situation even worse? And especially whether the refugees can stay home as preventive measures against COVID-19? Do you have any answer to that questions?
Thank you. These are the most important questions also.
Yeah.
First question, how is the situation of testing? So in my lecture, I have shown that in the camps, there are 116 health centers. 116 health centers. And in the health centers, regularly, you see the camps are subdivided into some sections. Camp 1 and under Camp 1, there are some sections. Camp 2, under these, there are some sections. And there is a health center for a particular number of sections. And I have seen that more than 200 doctors and 2,000 health workers are giving service 24 hours. And they are provided testing kits by UNHCR and also from the help of Bangladesh government. And it is approximately 500 and more than are testing every day there. I can say that. And then in the question of the economy, you see the Rohingya people has no earning capacity. They have prevented from joining any economic activities. So they are just dependent on the aids provided by the government of Bangladesh and the 130 local and more than 130 local and foreign NGO activities. Well, it is not possible for a nation or a race to refrain them from earning sources for a longer time. It is creating confusion and problems also. They are trying to do something, and in the January when I visited the Rohingya camps, I see there are lots of local markets they are established, and they are also engaging, though officially prohibited, that they are not permitted to enjoy work and earning activities, but in reality they are doing some activities. And this is I think this is from the out of or the spill out of the restrictions from the local people to Rohingya people. Some local people shrewdly giving them money, changing their activities, exchanging. If this case runs for a longer time, it will make serious problems for Bangladesh. And what does it make the situation even worse? Of course, I agree with this. If we let huge number of people they are workless or refrain them from the activities, what will they do? And the symptom is already taken. Every day there are some cases we see that Rohingyas are kidnapping some bodies, they are hijacking some bodies, they are doing unlawful activities there, and this situation is raising up, and it is becoming a greater concern for Bangladesh government how to refrain them from those unlawful activities. And I think the international community should come forward rapidly, because the security concern from Bangladesh is not the security concern of Bangladesh. It can spill out from Bangladesh to the adjacent areas, and the whole security concern of the South Asia and also Southeast Asia will be affected by the spilling out of this situation, I think.
Mm. Okay.
And thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you very much, Dr. Mamun, for elaborate answer. I think it's a
yeah.
it's a very complex problem that needs to be addressed by not only Bangladeshi government but also South Asia as a whole, and also international community need to answer that problem as well. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mamun. We have
And another question I say.
Yeah.
One people say that I am aware to this date there is still influx in Rohingya refugees trying to enter Bangladesh. Yes, of course, there are still. One question I may draw before the audience that you see, before this month, there are also some people are forcibly evacuated from Myanmar, and they are trying to go to the Southeast Asian nations by seas. And when they are unable to go there, they are staying in the oceans. And the United Kingdom and the Amnesty International and other international communities urges Bangladesh to accept them. So why the international community, the Amnesty International and others urges continuously to Bangladesh to accept them? Why can't they force the Myanmar government to take back them? This is a very funny thing. And I think the nature of Bangladesh, the foreign policy of Bangladesh is friendship to all, malice to none. This harmonious foreign policy, I think, should be readdressed for Bangladeshi government, because seeing this friendly foreign policy, everybody is pouring their garbages over Bangladesh. Uh, in fact, we are a largely densely populated country. So I am agreed with them. The pushing out of the border and trying to evacuate the area is continuing, and it is high time for the international community, especially the big powers named the USA, UK, China, and the regional power India should come forward to cope with this situation, so that the Myanmar government should keep their promise and start to repatriate them and make congenial atmosphere in them. Because above all, humanity is above all. We should everybody realize one day we must die. One day the universe we will left, and all men are equal in the eye of God. Whoever it is, you are Buddhist, whoever it is, you are Muslims or Hindus or Christians, everybody believes in a God, and all men are equal in the eye of God. So you are pushing out of your own citizens. Is your religion, is your custom, is your heritage permitted only for the economic reason, only for your FDI? So international community should come forward, just ignoring their business policy. So I urge everybody that to pressure from their own end, so that these displaced people can go back to their own country. And thank you. And any other question, please?
Yes, there is another question coming from one of our students. Yes, sir. We still have a lot of questions.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Waiting
Hadza.
for you. Yeah. I think it's very
I am
important.
Really, yeah, of course.
I think it's very important to hear the first-hand perspective from Bangladeshi about this Rohingya case.
And thank you very much for you and your committee and your department.
Yes,
because
you're welcome.
You have drawn such an important international questions before the audience, and we think everybody of us are enriched from this discussion.
Yes.
And we are hoping to organize such events again.
Yeah. Hopefully, yes. We have conducted several series of discussion. So moving on to the question, there's a question from one of our students. He's asking about how long has Bangladesh providing assistance to Rohingya with COVID-19 aid? Is it providing assistance until the pandemic over or in temporary time? Thank you.
How far? Bangladesh.
How long Bangladesh has provided assistance to Rohingya with COVID-19? Is it providing assistance until the pandemic is
how
over?
Long?
Yeah, how long?
So you see, the first symptom of first symptom of COVID-19 is first case in December 1st in China, Wuhan. And as soon as hearing the situation of Wuhan, the Bangladesh government taking preparations, and you see the planning for the whole nation. Before the planning for the whole nation, Bangladesh took immediate steps for the Rohingya people there, because they are very much vulnerable, because they are our guests, because they are distressed people. So the government of Bangladesh think that though we are starving, but we should not let our guests starve. That is the policy of Bangladesh. I again repeat, the policy of Bangladesh government is, we ourselves can starve, but we should not let our guests starve, because our foreign policy, because of our heritage. So from the very beginning of, it is approximately January and February, Bangladesh has started to take precautionary measures to face COVID-19, if it is. And functionally, it is started from the March. And I have given information that in March 24, officially Bangladesh government imposed orders how to cope Rohingyas. But unofficially from the January, Bangladesh is dealing with the COVID-19 for the Rohingya refugees. And there is a question how long it will go. So we also don't know the answer. We just want to know that as soon as the Rohingya people will be able to go back to their own land, Bangladesh will be released or relieved from this burden. We'll feel fine then.
Okay, yes, thank you very much, Mr. Mamun. Moving on to the next question from one of our participants, Ratu Ayu Asih. Regarding the repatriation efforts which have stalled last years, do you think that such effort is still a priority for Bangladesh after during and after the COVID-19 crisis? Do you have any answer to that?
Yeah. Last of your question I missed. Last sentence of your question.
Do you think the repatriation efforts is still a priority for Bangladesh government during and after the COVID-19 crisis? Yes.
No. Actually, not only for Bangladesh, but also for all the nations of the universe. The first priority now is to cope with, deal with COVID-19. First of all, you should survive. Then you should take decision where to survive, how to survive. So, although repatriation is always number one issue for Bangladesh, but now number one issue for Bangladesh before repatriation, save the Rohingyas there, so that they will not be affected. And repatriation policy is ongoing, because it is nothing. As soon as Myanmar government make congenial atmosphere, they will be able to cross the border to go there. So I will go my own home. Need not any arguments. I'll go my home. If my brothers and sisters welcome to me, anytime, any moment, I can go there. So if Myanmar government take precautionary actions within the COVID pandemic, Bangladesh can process the repatriation. Bangladesh is ready always.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So the answer is Bangladesh is always ready for the repatriation, especially after the pandemic has been over. Will be over in next years to come, God willing. All right.
Years to come, but it is potentially forecasting that within September there will be vaccination invented.
Oh, okay.
And then, you see this virus, now by the scientific analysis, everybody of us know that we are to stay with this virus for the longer times, because it will not be abolished within months or years.
Yes.
We accept this, and so we should think over how to cope with this virus, and repatriation and other policies also will run as long as with this process also.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing will be stopped for nothing.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. It's clear. I think it's clear enough. The answer is clear enough. Moving on, sir, to question asked by one of our participants, Mrs. Diatri Cesaria. She's asking about. She is aware that to this date there is still influx of Rohingya refugees trying to enter Bangladesh area, especially getting into the camp. How does Bangladesh government respond to this influx? Second, how do you see the Rohingya refugees in the camp are coping with the lockdown with only essential services available? So how do you answer that questions?
So, well, in my lecture, I have shown you that the whole activities of related to Rohingyas are performed by a commission, Triple RC Commission. You see, immediately after their coming, Bangladesh created a commission, Relief and Rohingya Relief Repatriation Commission. And this commission is headed by a joint secretary of Bangladesh government, and the members are the local BGB head, local army GOC head, police head, civil surgeon of Cox's Bazar, district commissioner of Cox's Bazar. So there is a structure. There is a structure to provide shelter, facilities, fooding, and everything that is going on within a structure. So Bangladesh is providing everything, not only for the kids, not only for the PPE or mask or gloves, everything for their necessities is designed by this Triple RC, and UNHCR and other local and foreign NGOs are also doing as per the rules of RRC. They are not working separately. At the onset of this crisis in 2017, the NGOs are doing separately. And then the government of Bangladesh has seen there is an amalgamate situation. The money comes from overseas areas to the local NGOs and others. They are doing illegal operations. Then Bangladesh government take drastic action that all the activities in the camps should be under control of RRC. And after that, all the activities are in line, organized. That is why everything is going soundly. And the outcome of this drastic action, you see, till today, there is no COVID-19 positive within the Rohingyas people.
Okay, sir, but another question is that how does Bangladeshi government respond to the influx of the Rohingya people who are still coming from Bangladesh, from Myanmar to Bangladesh? How, yeah.
That is a question, you see, the influx is not a newer one. The first influx came from Myanmar to Bangladesh in 1978, then 1991 to 92, then 1915, then 1916, then huge influx in 1917. So why? It is a great question, why Bangladesh opened its border? So for two reasons. Number one reason, the foreign policy of Bangladesh. The foreign policy of Bangladesh is friendship to all, malice to none. For this policy, Bangladesh is keeping patience with its neighboring countries. Continuously, Myanmar is doing this, but Bangladesh is trying to resolve this problem with peaceful discussions and with the help of international community. If Bangladesh closed the borders, what would happen? Huge number of people are dead. You see, in 1971, Bangladesh fought a liberation war with Pakistan. Then more than 100 million people forcibly displaced from Bangladesh to India. So what did then India did? So Bangladesh has an experience of the miseries of refugees. So experienced from the experience of 1971, Bangladesh feel for the displaced people. So it is the humanitarian sense. It is only the humanitarian sense that Bangladesh could not but open the border. Bangladesh has a strong belief over the international community that they should come forward to show honor to the sense of Bangladesh, the humanitarian sense of Bangladesh. If you claim that you are civilized, if you claim that we are globalized people, so you must come forward to connect the global villages. So on the basis of these global villages, globalization, Bangladesh has a strong belief that the international community will come forward and resolve these problems. And Bangladesh opened border, gave them shelter, not only for other reason. Bangladesh do not want to make conflict with the neighboring countries. Bangladeshi people are a peaceful nation. They want to, you see, with Myanmar, we have border disputes in the ocean areas. We do not locked in clash with them. We go to the IJO and international court resolve the problem. We have border disputes with India in the land areas and also in the ocean areas. We went to the international court and the problems, okay. We have water sharing problems with India. We have made pacts with them with peaceful cooperation. We have cross-border insurgencies in Chattogram areas and the areas of western part of Bangladesh. We have solved Shanti Bahini and other problems with peaceful means. So it is the motto, it is the procedure of the Bangladesh foreign policy to cope everything with a peaceful means, We believe in negotiation. We believe in peaceful means. That's why we are waiting for a time so that the Myanmar government will be forced to understand that what they had done is not the activities of a civilized nation. Myanmar should be civilized. Myanmar should pay heed to the international community. Myanmar should be friendly, sympathetic to their own citizens. So we are just waiting for, and this is done only for the heritage of Bangladesh, the foreign policy of Bangladesh, and we want to live peacefully. That's
okay. Thank you, Mr. Mamun.
Yeah.
We still have another question, two questions more to be answered. The first question is coming from Mr. Yosiforas from Australia. He's asking the question about, without a doubt, the Rohingya crisis has put a huge pressure on Bangladesh economy. From this report today, it sounds like that Bangladesh refugee camps provide very good practice for the world to follow. However, the flip side still remains repatriation of millions back to Myanmar. What are the best options, and how can Australia assist?
How
can Australia assist with this process of repatriation?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So far as I understand the question, so Bangladesh is now able to cope with this situation. Of course, international community has come forward. Australia is one of them. And another first world countries also came forward to provide assistance. But as much as they promised to give assistance to Bangladesh, as less they disbursed the money. So the promising money, promising aids has not come in full ranges. That's why in the budget of Bangladesh, annual budget of Bangladesh, after 2017, Bangladesh allocated a portion of its national budget for refugee management. And Bangladesh is now able to cope this situation because of only one situation, because of only one reason. Now Bangladesh is agriculturally solvent country. We have sufficient food production. We have sufficient food production. We are not now importing foods. We are trying to exporting. This inner strength is giving strength to Bangladesh to cope with this situation. But Bangladesh has not unlimited agricultural strength. The strength is going to ruin out. So as a development partner and a well-wisher of Bangladesh, Australia can come forward and keep his promise. Australia, I see some amount they promised to give for tackling this situation, and some portion of the promise has been also disbursed, and other is awaiting. So I think as a first world nation, they can scholarly make international opinion. We need not aid, we need not money, we just need the international initiative to take them back. We don't want to get something, just we urge international community, Australia is one of them, please do your own job as a member of this universe to sustain humanity, to reduce the problems of the miseries, and please help Bangladesh to sustain, because we are not a large economy. We are still LDC country trying to go upward. That's the statement to the Australian.
Okay, thank you. I hope that answer is enough. And we are now moving on to the last question by one of our students, Mr. Fuad. Fuad is asking a question about the first question is does Bangladesh effort effective against refugees until today? Second, does Bangladesh willing to ask international help in this matter? Is there any kind of fear to ask for international help? Because this will have a serious impact on Bangladesh economy and health. Thank you.
Yeah. So please repeat the question.
Oh, the question. Okay. So Fuad is asking a question about two questions on your topic. The first question is, does Bangladesh effort effective against refugees until today? And the second question, does Bangladesh willing to ask international help in this matter? Is there any kind of fear? Because this will
Bangladesh is willing
willing to ask international help on this matter, or on the issue of the refugee.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank you. The first question is Bangladesh effort effective against refugee until today.
Yes.
Yeah, I can claim. Yeah. Bangladesh effort effective against refugee until today. Yeah, of course. You see, till today, there is no coronavirus positive in the camps. And it is effective because in my lecture, I told you that Bangladesh, the policy of Bangladesh is we should remain starved rather than to starve our guests. So what Bangladesh did for his own people all over the Bangladesh is separate from the Rohingya camps. It is possible there because camp areas are restricted. So people do not have easy access to out of the camps or to in the camps. So it is possible for Bangladesh to ensure social distancing, ensure because they are living within a small area. But all over the Bangladesh, it is not much effective. So the first question is, Bangladesh is till today, the policy of Bangladesh is effective to cope with COVID-19. And the second question is, Bangladesh willing to ask international help in this matter? Of course, Bangladesh has already asked international community to help in this case, because till today we are able to cope or deal this situation, but we don't know even for the next day, because our economy is not also solvent, because we, not only Bangladesh, all the countries of the universe are disconnected. Export import is stopped and other connectivity is stopped. So how Bangladesh will supply the daily necessities? Bangladesh, till today Bangladesh is able to supply necessities, but what will happen in the next? That is a question. So Bangladesh has already seek help from World Bank and others. And you see Bangladesh government already declared a packages in the national budgets, and Bangladesh is hoping to come help from international committee to deal this situation. And thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay? That was the last question. Is there anyone who would like to ask a question? Maybe one or to two more questions. I will open for one or two more questions if there are anyone who would like to ask for more questions.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, now it's around 20 minutes to 5, so we still having some time in Indonesia. It's now I think it's 3:40 in Bangladesh, 3:40 afternoon, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is 3:40 p.m.
Yes, 3:40 p.m. Yes. Is there any other question from the participants, or
yeah, of course,
anyone would like to ask a question to Mr. Mamun? Okay.
So is there not any question? I have some questions to the audience also.
Okay, yes, please ask.
So you see, refugee problem is not a newer question. It is the question from when the state system evolves in the universe, the boundary system evolve in the universe, the passport and visa system evolved in the universe. So I also think that the refugee system is the outcome of the present world structure also. So we have a world organization named UNO, but it has become a rubber stamp. So how we can meet the greedy clutches of the powerful nations to save the non-powerful nations? It is a great question that continuously Myanmar government or Myanmar army is evacuating their areas, but international community urging Bangladesh to accept them. They are not our citizen. They are the ethnic minority of Arkans. If you see, they should do something. Even the neighboring countries has the responsibilities. And I also cordially asked a question before. Indonesia also, as a Muslim country, Bangladesh is a Muslim majority country. And what happened to OIC? And OIC is silent. IC utterly silent because there is no drastic action against them. So only the economic reason a nation is evacuating his citizens. What is it doing UNHCR? What is it doing the United Nations? So I think in the coming September, the General Assembly of the United Nations, every nation of the universe should come forward to raise the questions, to take drastic actions against not only Myanmar. I am quoting not only Myanmar, the countries who are trying to subdue their own citizens should be punished, because we are claiming that we are in a civilization. So if we are in a civilization, we should sustain civilized activities and stand against uncivilized activities. So I ask the audiences, would I expect everybody should raise their hands from their own end to raise voices for the betterment of Rohingyas, so that they can go back to their own land, own natives? That is my question.
All right. Okay, sir. There is one last question. I think this will be the last question. Do you see?
There is a question I see.
Yes.
Do you see social integration with the host communities in Bangladesh, especially with the living or around Cox's Bazar, as a promising solution? There is no resolution from Myanmar and the international communities? No, it is not possible. It is not possible. Already you see the hosting people in Cox's Bazar has already become minority. In the Cox's Bazar, they are the residents, but after coming the Rohingyas, they has become minorities. Their own lands are sharing with them. It is not possible because the culture is different from Rohingyas and the native people. It will make clashes. It will make confusions, and the whole area will become a hub of terrorism, and which terrorism should be spill out to neighboring countries, and the security concern of the Southeast Asia and Southeast Asia will be burdened in near future. So there is no option that Myanmar should not take resolution or international community should not take communication. It must be done. Myanmar, of course, should take necessary actions to take back their citizens. It is for their own security. If they think that by evacuating them, they will enjoy ease, it is not possible. They will also be burdened with such a terrorism also, because more than 1.7 million people living as a refugee, not for become calm for a longer days, they will have become a curse for not only Bangladesh, but also for the world security. I see already the security scholars has concerned with this. So it is not possible solution for peaceful coexistence with the host people, with the Rohingyas. Rohingyas must be repatriated immediately. That is the answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mamun, there's someone would like to give a response to your statement. She's one of the one of the alumni of the International Relations Gajah Mada University. Ms. Dia is also working in humanitarian affairs, so she would like to give some remarks on your and comments to your opinion. Can she give can you give her the time to give remarks on your statement?
Me?
No, she will give remarks.
Of course.
Yeah.
In the chat box.
Oh, wait. But Dia, can you hear us? So
I can hear
yes,
you perfectly.
Yes, okay. You can give
through the chat box, please.
Yeah. No, could she speak? I think she could speak, because this will be a more engaging discussion.
Yeah, I just think, first of all, thank you so much, Professor Mahmoud, for the comprehensive presentations about the Rohingya conditions during the pandemic in Bangladesh. And I would like to applaud the Bangladeshi government effort in managing the shelter. I know it's a huge burden especially for developing countries. I just want to note that we know that the authorities to accept, or the capacity to accept refugees, has always comes from developed countries, big countries like America, Germany, most of the European countries. But we also know the fact that most of these refugees are hosted by developing countries, like the case with Malaysia, like the case with Thailand, now like the case with Bangladesh, also in Indonesia, Jordan, in Turkey. And this has been a prolonged displacement situation. And when we call upon international society respond to handle this, it covers different response. So take, for example, in the case of Indonesia, Indonesian government, they allowed a humanitarian space where Indonesian government allows refugees to be here, but Indonesian government does not take resettlement from the refugees. So they can stay in Indonesia, but they still have for a certain period, but they still have to resettle in another country. So it is indeed a very complicated issues, politically speaking, economically speaking, and also even in a humanitarian aspect of that. I think it takes more than just international society effort to deal with this, but it also takes political will from the government, be that the developing countries' government, or be that the developed countries' government. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
In addition, I can say something. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Yes, please, sir.
Mr. Hadza.
Yes.
In addition, I think from these comments also, I think that the refugee burdened countries are mainly poorer countries, third world countries. And you see, the largest 10 refugee prone countries are from African nations, Middle East nations, and the South Asia. And all of them are mainly not first world countries. So I think if the first world countries or global South are continue to ignore this situation, there should arise another compact actions like NATO and previously Warsaw and others. These refugee-prone countries can make another alliance so that they can jointly do something to overcome their burdens. And then if these countries who are unnecessarily burdened with these problems such as Indonesia, Turkey, Bangladesh, Somalia, some other Arabian countries, if they make alliances only for such a question of refugees, then the world structure will have a jerk, I also. So I think there should be talk among the scholars through the medias, so that there should be a pressure group established in the universe to give pressure over the powerful nations or the first world countries to make them aware about their responsibilities. So if you are a powerful country, you have more responsibility also. So if you are unable to give feedback to your responsibility, your power should be challenged this way or that way, because power transfers and no country sustains forever as a powerful nation. We see the Roman Empire abolished, we see Greek civilizations, we see Mughals, we see other civilizations. So if a civilization or the powerful states think that they are civilized, they should, along with their civilization, along with their power, they should also do their responsibilities to ease those countries. Those are unnecessarily burdened with the refugees. And what can they do? They jointly take actions against those miscreant states or governments through the United Nations. And I think as soon as they should come forward, the future peace for the world will be ensured. Thank you.
Okay.
Hazan.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mamun. I think we are almost reaching the 5 p.m. limit. I think we should end all of the question and answer session. And I would like to give the chance for you to give a concluding remarks, sir, on this discussion, if you have any time to conclude. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I am congratulating you and your team, and also thanks to the International Relations, Department of International Relations
Yes, you're welcome.
The Islamic University. And thank you very much, and see you soon.
Yes, see you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mamun. Thank you for your participation, also for your contribution to this discussion. And also I would like to thank everyone who have joined this discussion since the beginning of the session. For now, I would like to end the discussion and stay healthy, stay safe, everyone. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice evening, everyone.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Thank you very much.